Our story begins not with a single battle, but with the slow creep of power. In the 12th century, English knights arrived in Ireland, invited by a local king, but they never left. Over centuries, their foothold grew into domination as English lords built castles, imposed laws, and seized land. The native Irish, with their ancient clans and traditions, were pushed to the margins. English rule wasn't just about territory, it was about erasing Irish culture, language, and identity. The English wanted Ireland to mirror England, stamping out the Gaelic way of life. This created a deep divide: settlers loyal to London versus the dispossessed Irish. The struggle became cultural as much as political, a fight for the soul of the island. The English crown tightened its grip, seeing Ireland as a strategic asset and crushing Irish chieftains. Wars, confiscations, and cultural suppression followed, leaving the Irish in constant turmoil. Yet the spirit of resistance endured, even as the dream of independence seemed to fade. Centuries of foreign rule forged a powerful sense of Irish identity and grievance. Families lost homes, children were forbidden their language, and a people were told they were inferior. This shared experience united the Irish in longing for freedom. The memory of loss and oppression would fuel rebellion for generations. This is the backdrop to Ireland's epic struggle for independence. To control Ireland, the English seized land and gave it to Protestant settlers, most famously in the plantation of Ulster. Native Irish were dispossessed, replaced by a new, loyal society in the north. The penal laws followed, barring Catholics from land, power and education, cementing religious and social divides. Oppression bred resistance. Inspired by revolutions abroad, the United Irishmen rose in 1798, dreaming of a republic uniting all creeds. The rebellion was crushed, but the idea survived. Later uprisings by the young islanders and Fenians also failed, but their leaders became martyrs. Songs and stories kept the flame of resistance alive. Even in defeat, the fight for independence was passed from one generation to the next. The seeds of conflict, land, religion, and identity were deeply sown. Ireland's struggle was now a tradition. The dream of freedom refused to die. In the mid-1800s, disaster struck the Great Famine. Potato blight wiped out the main food source for millions. British policies worsened the crisis. Food exports continued as the Irish starved. Over 1 million died, another million fled, scattering the Irish across the world. Villages vanished, the Irish language declined, and a deep wound was left on the nation's soul. The famine became a symbol of British neglect and cruelty. It hardened Irish resolve. Freedom was now a matter of survival. The trauma united survivors and the diaspora in a shared memory of loss. The drive for independence gained new urgency. The Great Hunger would haunt Ireland for generations. After the famine, a new movement emerged: constitutional nationalism. The goal was home rule, self-government within the British Empire, won by votes, not violence. Charles Stewart Parnell led the Irish Parliamentary Party, making home rule the central issue in British politics. Despite setbacks, defeated bills, and fierce opposition from unionists in Ulster, the campaign persisted. By 1912, a third Home Rule bill seemed poised to pass, but as self-government neared, Ireland split. Unionists armed themselves in the north, nationalists in the south. The country teetered on the brink of civil war. The peaceful path to freedom had led to a dangerous standoff. The dream of Home Rule was within reach, but unity was slipping away. Ireland was an armed camp, divided and tense. The next chapter would be written in fire. The struggle for self-rule had reached a breaking point. The stage was set for revolution. With Britain distracted by World War I, radical nationalists seized their moment. On Easter Monday 1916, rebels took over Dublin and declared an Irish Republic. The public was initially unsupportive. Many saw the rebels as reckless. After 6 days of fighting, the rising was crushed and its leaders executed. The executions shocked Ireland, turning the rebels into martyrs. Public opinion shifted dramatically. The executed men became national heroes. Support for moderate home rule collapsed as Sinn Féin surged. The failed rising became a political triumph, awakening a new spirit of nationalism. The dream of a republic now belonged to the majority. The path to war was set. A terrible beauty was born, as Yeats wrote. The Easter Rising changed everything. Ireland would never be the same. The fight for independence was now unstoppable. The 1916 Rising led directly to the War of Independence. Sinn Féin won the 1918 election and declared an Irish Republic. The IRA, led by Michael Collins, waged guerrilla war against British forces. The British responded with brutal reprisals, fueling more support for the IRA. Violence escalated, leaving deep scars on both sides. By 1921, both were exhausted. A truce led to the Anglo-Irish Treaty. Ireland gained limited independence as the Free State, but had to accept partition. Northern Ireland remained British. Many saw the treaty as betrayal. The nationalist movement split. Civil war erupted between pro-treaty and anti-treaty forces. The pro-treaty side prevailed, but the cost was immense. Ireland was free, but divided and traumatized. The struggle for unity and identity would continue. A nation was born in the shadow of war.